Welcome to the Evergreen RX. I'm your host, Hayden, licensed mental health therapist, Cancer Moon, and the first to get deep at any party. And this is the final episode of season 4. I am excited to be here recording the last episode of season 4. I feel very proud of myself for hitting my 55th episode, which actually I have more than that. I did 2 seasons of mini episodes that don't get factored into the episode number count. So I think I'm actually on episode 77, which is crazy. Hopefully I'll be able to keep track of when I hit episode 100 so that we can have a 100th episode celebration. 100th episode celebration. But I just thought for the end of the season, I just wanted to chat with you guys. No question today. Really, I pulled out the good old journal and I'm just sharing journal thoughts with you. An entry that I did recently that really stood out to me and helped me contextualize and understand why I feel unsatisfied. So I thought it would be a good one because I had a feverish journaling session and I kind of dear evergreened myself. So let's just turn the tables around and I will ask and answer my own question. So yeah, hopefully that sounds fun for you guys. If not, I don't know. It's already recorded, so nothing I can do about that. But so as I said, this journaling session really helped me clear up a struggle that I've had such a hard time articulating. And I will be so curious who out there resonates with it because I feel like it's, I know I'm not alone in it, but I don't know, you could call it chronic dissatisfaction or a lack of presence or feeling unsettled and not being able to slow down. But it's kind of the feeling of you're always rushing to the next thing. You're always thinking about the next thing, always rushing to be somewhere else or doing something else. And so it's hard to ever really sink into or thoroughly enjoy the thing that I'm doing. Whatever I was rushing to. If I'm always rushing to somewhere, then I'm never really satisfied with where I am. And I knew before I hit record that this topic was going to be really hard for me to put into words still, which you might say that's a bad thing for a podcast, but that's okay. I even reading back my journal entry, I was like, okay, good points are being made, and this is also it's word salad a little bit. It's still not fully formed. So I'm hoping I can avoid the word salad enough to get my point across. But basically what I'm talking about today is wanting to do something, and then when you're actually doing it, you're not super satisfied. But then in hindsight, you're happy you did. So it's probably easiest to explain this through an example of what I mean. This came to me on a luxurious Saturday I had a couple weekends ago where the day was laying in front of me, and it's the day I always dream to have, which is I'm, gonna go to the pool, I'm gonna read, I'm gonna journal, I get to spend time with myself and my thoughts, I get to really dive into my inner world and just get to be that girl that's in that one photo on my Pinterest mood board, and it's just a gorgeous day spent outside with a book and a journal and a peach. It's gorgeous, and I always want that. And the day was laying in front of me. I could make it come true. But then when I was there, when I was at the pool, sitting with my journal and my pen, ready to dive into all the thoughts and feelings that I had had to put aside through the busy week, and it was just gorgeous out and it was sunny, I was so not into it. My back was hurting. My mind was racing. I really couldn't wait to get home and watch TV. Like, all I wanted to do, honestly, was leave. And that really frustrated me. And that was the culmination of finally getting to put this into words, because I was like, what the hell is wrong? What is wrong? Like, what's happening here? Why is this so hard for me? And I realized what I was striving for, what I am always striving for, is a sense of curation, a sense of a collection of moments instead of presence with each individual moment. And we can see this all the time. Like, literally making a vision board or a mood board is making a curation, a representation of the life that you want. And it's taking the bird's eye view, the zoomed out full picture of the life that you want. But the deal is, my sweet one, and I'm talking to myself here, each moment comes together to create a life or to actualize your vision board, to create a way of being. But in order to actually get there, you actually have to live each of those moments. We don't live in the photo album and the collection of memories. We live in each moment that makes them. And so I realized, like, in the like after the fact, glossy, like yassified edit of the memory, that if I was always focused on that, I was always going to feel dissatisfied being present. You know the feeling when you're like, oh my God, like that trip was so fun. Like that girl's trip to Mexico last year, it was so fun. Like, because you're only seeing the snapshots and the highlights, and you're not really thinking about how you were super tired because you stayed up late and you got up early, or the argument that you had when you were at like the really beautiful beach that you wanted to be at, or how you were super bloated from travel tummy. You know, this is something I've talked about before. Like, this is a concept that I like can't stop talking about, it seems. But you know, it's not to say that our memory takes on a glossy edit no matter what. That's just how it works. There's nothing wrong with that. That also doesn't mean that the trip wasn't fun and you didn't enjoy parts of being on it. But I think it's like the wires start to get crossed of, oh, well, all these memories are so beautiful and awesome, but now in this very moment that I'm in, why can't I reach that level of like enjoyment or satisfaction with this very moment? But the thing is, I'm forgetting that if I could actually go back to the thing that I'm remembering and kind of like beautifying in hindsight, that it was just as complicated and just as nuanced as the moment that I'm in. And like, it wasn't as glorious as it is in reflection. And I think when I forget that, I'm then trying to uphold that standard, and then it feels like something's wrong because I'm at the pool and I'm sitting with my journal, but my back is hurting and I just want to go home, and I'm thinking, what is wrong? Because I shouldn't feel this way. Right? Like, it should be so much more glorious than it is. But it's just an illusion. And there's this book that I'm reading about travel that's really amazing. And I'm so sorry because I'm going to gatekeep it from you guys right now because it's just too close to my heart. I got to keep some things for myself, and I apologize. Get mad at me if you want. But I will share something that I learned from it, which is a section where the author is talking about this postcard moment. Like, you know, when you plan a trip, at least like this is kind of in the olden days, they were talking about like how you look at brochures and these photos and you see this postcard photo of like Fiji, or whatever. That's what made you choose the destination, because you're like, man, when I am there in Fiji on that beach, I'm going to be so motherfucking happy. I'm going to be gorgeous and hot and joyous, and it's just going to be awesome. We can envision it. We get to have this like dreamlike imagination of it. But then when you get there, you're greeted by yourself, by this homegirl that you take with you everywhere, and you can maybe attain like that sense of contentment for like 2 to 3 minutes if you're lucky, or sporadic. You know, you get 30 seconds of peace, and then you like think, oh, I really could use a sandwich right now, I'm really hungry. And that's what I'm talking about. I felt so seen by that, because that's what life is. And that's what it's like to want to be the one to have done something, or the one to anticipate doing something, but then struggle when you're the one doing it and actually living it. But I'm acutely aware of the fact that I want to be in the arena. I want to be the one doing. I want to be the one living. I want to be able to embrace those moments for all their flaws and imperfections while they're happening, and not just find the joy and contentment in my fantasy land of imagination or remembrance after the fact. And so, like, for me, I'm someone that wants to look back on my life and the curation of it and see my life as someone that was mindful and thoughtful and intentional and connected to nature, and spent my days creating and meditating and doing yoga and celebrating the seasons and being with my loved ones. And like, I want that picture to be the picture that I get at the end of my life. But the one who remembers is not the one who lives it. So in order to get there, to have that life that looks the way that I want, not to remember that I actually spent a lot of time on my phone and scrolling and zoning out and watching TV. Like, I don't want to have spent so much time doing that. But what that requires of me is to make the choice, and sometimes what feels like the harder choice, to pick up my journal, to sit down at the piano, to have a slow Saturday where I actually allow myself space to like stare at the wall and be bored and let my mind wander instead of filling with constant easy stimulation. And so I have to make those choices and not just imagine being the kind of person that makes those choices. Again, and I come back, I have a whole episode on like the Pinterest effect that I'll link below, but I come back to that. It's more satisfying to scroll on Pinterest or to like watch YouTube of somebody else living the life that I want, because I just get all the satisfaction and like seeing it all put together, but not having to be in the nitty gritty of it. And the thing is, in the moment, like why the nitty gritty doesn't feel so good to me is it's not perfect, and it's not always magical, and it's messy, and it's boring or uncomfortable. And I don't know, I guess we're wired to want to avoid that stuff. And besides just struggling with it feeling unsatisfactory when I'm doing the things that at least my mind imagines that I want to do, I also think it's easy to hop from one desire to the next, to hop from one trend to the next, because we think maybe this is the thing that will make me happy. It's this constant pursuit, and it's fucking exhausting. And we get sold this fantasy that if you have this item or you go to some destination, that then you'll be happy and you'll feel the way that you want to feel. And it's just bullshit. It's just bullshit. And this is an internal process. This is an inside job to continually strive and work to find contentment in the messy, imperfect moments. I guess. I don't know. I really don't know. And even as I talk, and I do this a lot with myself, where I'm like, maybe I'm just overcomplicating things. Probably. I'm overcomplicating things. Or maybe this is that insatiable part of me that just wants to find a solution and an answer so that everything can feel more peaceful. When ultimately what I'm talking about here is the fact that things don't always feel peaceful, and they won't. It's just not possible. So I don't know. I don't know if this is helpful ultimately, but I think I found a little bit of help and a little bit of comfort in understanding what's going on and where this feeling of dissatisfaction comes from. And the thing is, at the end of the day, being the person you want to be, being the person I want to be, it's not just an aesthetic, it's a practice. It's a moment by moment choice, not just a reflection after the fact, but creating the life that we want to look back on. Creating the life I want to look back on when I die is made up of the choices that I'm making right now and in every insignificant day to come, in these insignificant seeming moments. Those are the ones that collect to create the grander, the larger sense of purpose, in that I am living the kind of life that I desire for myself. And I think since recognizing this, it has helped me find the motivation to get off the couch, to reframe the things that I'm doing. Instead of, oh God, I got to get myself off the couch to go practice piano. It's like, wait, hold on. That's a joy. That's a gift that I get to do that. This is what I want. This is what I've always wanted. And now I have the time and the space right in front of me to get to do it. And that reframe has really, really helped me. And it's also kind of enlightened or uncovered to me or illuminated for me how often I am thinking of life as this chore, or thinking of things as something to be, to get through, to have done, instead of enjoying them for what they are as they're unfolding, and as I'm doing it, as I'm being, as I'm living. And that's what I wanted to leave you guys with as I round out the 4th season of my podcast. So if this was helpful for you, share it with a friend if you feel called. Leave a review. That's very helpful for me and encouraging. And please tell me your thoughts. What resonated with you? While I will be taking a break between now and season 5, come and have a conversation with me over on Instagram or TikTok. I'll still be over there. I would love to hear from you. Also, send me all your questions and thoughts for next season. If there's something that you want to see me talk about, I will be preparing and prepping for that during my break. So send me your questions at theevergreenrx@gmail.com or 512-655-9888. And, I'll be back before you know it, but be sure to follow so that you don't miss another episode. And thanks for coming along with me. As I conclude recording these, I'm just in my house and I stop recording and I'm all alone and I'm left again with my thoughts and just me to reflect on. It is vulnerable to share these things, and I question sometimes, like, am I going to regret this? Am I going to cringe? Am I going to learn and grow more and think, oh God, I didn't know at all what I was talking about? But I also think that that's a part of life and the journey, and I'm learning to accept and appreciate more, just capturing what it is that I'm thinking and feeling in the moment, and kind of evolving and unfolding as life goes on, because I don't know, there's never a finish line, which I think is part of what I was trying to speak to today is, it's all a work in progress, for lack of a less cliche thing to say. So, yeah, thanks for coming along. If you've gotten to this point in the episode, like, leave a little ice cream emoji in the comments below. I don't know. Why am I talking like a YouTuber all of a sudden? Anyway, if you've gotten this far, I really appreciate it. And I would love to know that you're out there listening and coming along for the ride with me. So, thanks so much. I'll be back before you know it. Take great care of yourself. Take it easy. And I'll see you in another episode very soon.